Alright, welcome back, guys. So, today the new Firefly FFMN has arrived. It was sometime last year that I ordered this particular FFMN, and I have it here on the workbench, just cleaning it up. And this is a fantastic guitar. It's got like a honey flamed maple top. This guitar is absolutely exceptional. The Floyd Rose works great. I had mentioned that this Floyd Rose actually works better than the one that's on my Charvel. So this is, however, a new model. Now, I've only cut the tape. I like to examine the box to make sure that it hasn't been returned, maybe by a previous buyer. You know, this one looks a little chewed up. The styrofoam looks like it's, I don't know, I guess it's normal. I don't think my other one looked like that. This one looks like some pieces are missing. I don't know. So this is a new design, and let me see if I can, well, here it is in the mummy bag. Let me push pause and get it out of there. Okay, so here we are. And I really like it. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna, like I said, this apartment doesn't have the greatest lighting, so yeah. Now, I think what's happened here with the foam casing, however, is they're using the same mold to ship different guitars. I think this is a mold like for a Fender Strat. And because the headstock is quite different, that they chip away, if they can, use it. Yeah. So, first impressions is pretty nice. It's a very dark, flamed maple, roasted maple neck. It's got a lot of figuring in there, depending on what angle you look at it. The pictures on the website make it look like it's a bigger arch than what I see here, but it is an arch top. It goes up slightly and then flattens out, which is different actually than the other one. So the fretboard is pretty bland, which I'm okay with. It doesn't have to be spectacular. I was under the assumption that the fretboard and the neck were to be flamed maple. But I'm not a douchebag, so as long as it's functional. But I will tell you this: it feels great. It feels great. It does. It feels really, really nice. And yeah, the guitar looks stunning. And I think every guitar will have a different appearance, just like any other thing. But I really like it. It looks nice. It's totally different. Now this one over here has no arch. It's just completely flat. So I know that they're not the same guitar. This one does have an arch here. It's not a crazy arch. It's not an EVH arch, no. But it's nice. And again, it is what it is, guys. But it looks nice. It really does. It looks really, really nice. It's a lot darker, but I dig the blue, and the pickups look cool with that. That off-white, vintage, cream-colored. It just feels good too in the hand. So, and of course in the baggie, you get your cheap cord, your throwaway cord basically, and your whammy bar for your Floyd Rose. Yeah, I like it. It looks nice. And I'm going to do the same thing to it, you know. Totally cut the strings and put on some fresh strings. Now the frets on this one, however, are they the same? They're not. Well, I can't tell you, honestly. Yeah, they are. They are scratchy. So yeah, I'm going to take the strings off, polish the frets some more, and I'm sure this thing's going to sound nice too. I'm going to keep these boxes because I think they fit a Fender guitar. In fact, let's just see, because I do have a Fender stand by. Well, not quite, but it does fit a Fender body. But the headstock you see is quite different. So if I wanted to use this guitar to ship it, if I like sold it, and it probably won't work. But it definitely fits a Fender type body. Just there's no room for it. Because I was just curious about, not that it's a big deal, it's just that I think they tried to repurpose this particular styrofoam coffin. But yeah, this thing looks really, really nice, guys. Check it out. You know, the cream binding kind of makes it pop. You know, the blue is very, very nice. I don't want to say that's quilted. I guess it's some sort of flame, you know. But it looks nice from a distance. Look at that. I gotta just say, Firefly is just really. That's a really nice design. Is it gonna play as good as this one? I don't know. This one, you know, doesn't have. I wish this one had that same type of arch top. That would really make this just a little bit nicer. But I have no regrets. Just the way that it looks is really stunning. And again, you know, nice dark figuring on the back, which, you know, most of the time you're gonna be looking down at. The only negatives I would point out on a lot of the Fireflies is the dot markers need to be more. They just need to be a different color, maybe an off-white or something like that, because it's usually a little hard to see their dot inlays. You know, especially if the neck is really dark. You know, they get kind of lost. I wish they were just white. Maybe there's a fix for that, but from a distance, that looks really nice. These were some cats my great grandmother made years ago. Those things are probably 40 years old, older. She was a master seamstress, and she used to sell these at the senior center. But yeah, she made these. She used to sell these. These were really cool. These are just home crafts, you know. I'm kind of dumb that way, but I still appreciate my grandmother. So, yeah, so there it is, guys. The new Firefly FFM. The new one. Yeah, it looks nice. It's supposed to be a mahogany body, but it doesn't feel heavy. You can definitely see underneath. That does look like mahogany. I don't know if it's chambered. But I'm going to take some, you know, when I take the strings off, I'm going to look at the cavity. I'll look at the springs and look at the block, see how it is. But I don't mind it being that dark. I'm sure there are other ones that are going to be not so dark and probably have more flame on the neck, but it's always a hit and miss. See, this one here is a lot lighter, and it's got a lot of more figuring on the top part, but it's a lot lighter, and you can see the dot markers much better here. You know, where this is really, really dark. and the dot markers really don't pop as much. So maybe I can I think I have some dart marker stickers. It's just I want to be able to see, you know, down here better, but definitely feels like. So we're gonna take off the strings and just dial it in. But there it is, guys. Really, really nice. I dig the cream binding. Yeah, it really makes it pop, the cream binding. You know, it's a good paint job. It's a good blend. I don't know what that wood, that top veneer, whatever that is, it doesn't really shift, so it's hard to say exactly what that is. But it looks nice. It isn't any different than the Wolfgang. I think that's some sort of veneer also, but it's either fake or it's just a picture because it doesn't move either. But hey, you know, for a guitar under, you know, $260, that's a very nice looking guitar. And I think it's similar body shape, but it's a different cut. So it's got that arch. This one doesn't. So it looks a little bit more roundish. Yeah. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna do a little work on this, and we'll do a sound video later, and take a peek at the electronics cavity if I can get that all worked out. Well, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for joining me. And this will make Firefly number 4 or 5 that I have. That I'm a firm believer in their product. That's just really, really nice. I like that. Just its appearance is very attractive to me, so it's going to be nice. It's got a tone knob. This particular FFMN has none. It's just voice. But this one has a tone, so it'll be interesting to know how these pickups actually sound. That'll be the next thing. But it's definitely got a Floyd Rose. It's nice. It's flush to the body. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little work on it right now, guys. Alright. Watching a little Oblivion. Just got home from work. But yeah, I was just like looking at this case and going, this is a little hocus pocus here. My Tele didn't have that, so I don't know what they're trying to do. I think with some of them they're trying to repurpose the styrofoam coffin if possible, and I don't blame them. I mean, with the cost of things. But yeah, so the Strat doesn't fit, but I'm sure another guitar does fit in there. And that looks like almost like another one of their other guitars they would use this for. So, you know, I don't blame them. Okay, guys, well, thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Later.